Hey, psst, psst, hey, yeah, you come here, come here. Do you want to see what I have in my trunk? I think you like it. Tile. I think it's time for renovation. So we made an exciting purchase yesterday. A bunch of tile, and we have to go get the rest of it today. So I'm gonna try to film this really quick, then we're gonna go get the rest of the tile. It's like an hour away, so. But my car can only hold so much tile. So we are starting on the sunroom. I know I said we were doing a kitchen, but this is a part of the kitchen. So the floors I'm standing on right now are gonna be in the kitchen because right now there's tile, and this is the same wood floor that's in the rest of the house. It's just painted kind of like a gray blue. So hypothetically, if I sand it, it should be the same wood. So step one, clean this room up, paint it, because as beautiful as this lime green is, it's not really vibing with our new kitchen style. We went yesterday, got the rest of the tile. We got, what else did we get? We got a cool little thing, wicker stand for like 20 bucks from an antique place down the street. What else did we do? So we, Victoria and I went to Home Depot. We thought they were closing in like 5 minutes, but they ended up staying open till 8 instead of 6. So we got everything we needed except for backer board for underneath the new tile, because I don't know how thick how much I need to build up the floor to match the wood in the other room. So I'll have to do that. First step is to clean this room out, take the curtains down, take all the upholstered stuff away, empty out these shelves, get rid of the dog stuff, put it in the other room, literally just get everything out of this room. And then we will actually have to like scrub the walls. They're disgusting. There's dust because like I'm looking right here. I mean, like, that's really gross. Look at your house, you guys. It's way dirtier than you think. I mean, this is a room in our house. We just walk in from the garage, put coats down, put backpacks down, and keep walking. We don't spend any time in here. I don't see us spending a lot of time in here once we're done, but at least it'll look nicer and it'll be more cohesive with the kitchen, which is what you walk into from this room. So anyway, enough talking. Time to clear this room out. I should find the kids and make them help me because they need some PE credit or something. I don't know. In case you're wondering, it's all right here. It's all right there and outside. These are not your standard orange Home Depot buckets. These were from Walmart. I was getting an online order pickup and I saw them. I was like, oh, I need some buckets. So they're blue instead of orange, but it's all the same. 5-gallon plastic bucket. Walmart, not a sponsor. gonna go grab my ladder so I can get the top parts of all these little wood slats, siding things, and keep cleaning. And I'm gonna transition again to, I don't know what. You know what? You guys have seen me clean enough. It's the same process over and over on a ladder higher up. So let's get started painting, okay? All right, everything's clean. Got the trusty dusty ladder. Dust, I got all the dust off. Next step is gonna be to prime it. So I decided to use Kills Primer latex for the green because we're doing such a bright light color over it. It's almost the same color we did in Victoria's sewing room. If you go on her YouTube, you'll see us redoing her sewing room. So for all the built-ins though, we got Bear, not a sponsor, Marquee from Home Depot. And that was guaranteed one coat. And it's a pretty similar lightness scale. It's a different tone. Obviously it's more like a mauve-y brown, like I said earlier. But I feel like it should be pretty easy to paint over that in one coat. The white we're painting over the green was not guaranteed with one coat, so I didn't want to spend the extra money on that kind of paint, so I just got the Bear Ultra paint and primer in one. But I'm expecting to have to do 2 coats, so hopefully if I do the cheaper first coat of the Kills Primer, then I can just do 1 coat of the white and it should be okay. So without further ado, let's begin the painting time lapse. You're welcome. All right, yes, George, it's done. It's primed. We have the primer. So no more green. Well, there's no green. You can sort of see it, but this is just the first coat. So one note, if you are not taking your floors out, I suggest you put a drop cloth down, especially if you're working with 3, 7, and 11-year-olds. They're not the cleanest people. All right, so we are primed and ready to go for drying. This is my favorite stage of any paint job, is walking away from it while it dries and doing something else. I do not like painting. It's not my favorite, especially this room. All these little nooks and crannies that the roller can't get is really frustrating. So yeah. So I'm gonna go do something else. Work on the budget for the kitchen, order some stuff, fun things, you know. Next time you see it, there will be paint on the walls and maybe some paint on the built-ins, because there's no reason for you to watch all of that. It's just painting. No tips, no tricks. Get the paint on the stuff you want paint on. Don't get the paint on what you don't want paint on. So, all right. Hello and welcome to Sunday. As you can see, the room is painted very nicely. It makes it so much brighter and airy in here and just light, and it feels great, which is what a sunroom should feel like. So I don't know why we painted it green. So the next step before I do the built-ins is to put in these 2 antique pendant lights that we got 3 or 4 years ago. They were for the kitchen when it was designed a little bit differently, and now we don't really need those. So in here, it'll still tie into the chandeliers we are using. It's the same kind of brass, still an antique. But we're gonna put a pendant right here. Where's the line? We're gonna put a pendant right there, and another one on the other side, which will kind of elongate the room, make it seem like it's longer and cooler than it is. But I've run into a snag. I was going to use this Dremel with this wood cutting spiral bit, but it didn't work. It was just burning and smoking like crazy. I mean, that's wood up there, and that's a wood cutting bit. So I don't know if my Dremel is not like the most powerful one, or if they're, I don't know. I don't know what it is. So I'm gonna have to go out and get my jigsaw to do this cut. I didn't want to do the jigsaw because there's such a small hole, and jigsaws kind of frustrate me sometimes because they are not clean and easy, and it's just, I don't know, it's more work, but that's what this whole thing is about. So I'm gonna run outside, grab my jigsaw, and cut a couple of holes so I can run some wiring and get these new lights in. This is an awesome look if you guys wanna try it out. I don't like the jigsaw. I don't know why. It's just so cumbersome. And maybe mine's just really heavy duty and heavy and like not easy to hold above your head. Got the first hole done. I think the Dremel was just spinning so fast on the paper and the drywall, not the drywall, on the paper and the insulation that it was kind of burning. So this next hole is solid still, like I haven't done anything to it, so there's no way for the jigsaw blade to get in there, so I'll go grab my drill real quick, drill a hole big enough for the blade, and then I will do the same thing on the second hole, and then we will get to wiring up in the attic. For those of you who don't know electrical work, this is one of the most simple things you can do, because I'm just gonna tie in these two lights from the existing fan light. So I don't have to like add a new light switch or anything. I'm adding two gang box, I think that's what they're called, I never remember. But it's for old work. So if you're doing new work, like if you're building a house or building a fresh wall, like in the kitchen, I'm gonna be adding a couple walls with outlets. I'll do new work. So that one, you can put it right on the stud and hammer it in, and it's fine. It sticks out just enough for the drywall. This is for old work. So I already have a house built here. So you cut the hole. I marked these holes around this, and I cut just inside. It's not too much inside that you need to be, but then these tabs, when you screw them in, they go all the way and like clamp onto whatever it is, whether it be drywall. For me, I'm doing this beadboard, so it's gonna like clamp it in place and provide that stability without adding a bunch of other stuff. These lights are really, really light, so I'm not concerned with any weight with this. The beadboard is plenty strong enough to hold it, and it's pretty close to some floor joists that are going across for the second floor. So it's plenty strong enough for this. A fan, I would probably support it a little better with some bars going across and do a little bit more work in the attic. So next step, I will put these in the ceiling, punch out these little tabs, probably before, that are already there, so I can run the wire in, go into the attic, run the wires, attach the lights, fix them up, and then I will go and connect both wires to the current fan light so that I'm not dealing with a lot of hot wires. Once the light switch is off, there's no power going to that switch. So it should be all right without having to turn all the power off. If I was dealing with the light switch, however, or an outlet, I would have to flip the breaker off to that specific one. But since it's a light switch, flip the light switch off, test it. If there's no power, we're good. And we have dead wires. Still be careful. This is not by any means like follow Jody for code stuff. I'm not getting that information out. There's plenty of resources out there on the internet to help you with code with your own area. This is just generic remodeling, renovation discussions. In right there. Also, side note, my kid left the fridge open and it's beeping at me, so let me fix that. Alright, fridge is closed now. So a problem I ran into was that the wire for the fan was just a wire sticking through the ceiling. There's no junction box, there's nothing. So I have nowhere to connect these wires to. So I have to go up and rewire everything, put a proper junction box with a cover and all that. Luckily, I have some spares in the garage from another project that I don't know why I have it. Anyway, I have some. I'm gonna go up there, work on that, get my respirator because there's a lot of insulation. And yeah, turns out I did not have the right kind of junction box. I have the old work again, and up there you just have rafters and there's nowhere for that little clip to grab onto, so that doesn't make sense. So I had to run to Home Depot real quick and get a new work junction box. So this is that right here. And again, if you're going to have drywall, you can put it right here and that'll give you enough lip for your drywall, and then the covering goes over it. But that doesn't really matter. But it has these nails in here, nail it into the floor joist like so, and then wires go through the bottom, hook it all up, and then cover it with one of these. This is solid. There's no places for plugs or light switches or anything. It just covers over it so it's safe and to code. That's the only code I'm gonna talk about. Stop asking me. Okay, so I'm gonna go back up to the attic. It's dark up there. I'm gonna have like a little head flashlight. I can't take you guys with me. I'm sorry, but I will connect all 3 of these wires up there in my new handy dandy junction box. And then hopefully the lights will work. That's the idea. Oh, woo! We did it. We did it. We did a dash. I know, he's excited. He's excited. Okay, cool. It's super bright in here. Okay, I need to go get my wife so that she can tell me that I did a good job. So. So the sunroom is painted. Everything is awesome. I love the new color. It turned out a lot more, well, in the video, I'm looking at the screen. It looks a lot more taupe than pink and mauve. When I first painted it, I was like, ooh, I don't know about that. But it looks really good. George got to do his section over here. Lights are in. Everything is bright, light, and airy, and beautiful. So the next video, I will be starting the floors and seeing how far I get. The issue that I'm gonna run into is getting the floors up, being able to salvage them to reuse them. I've never done that before. I'm more of a rip it out, throw it in the trash kind of guy. So I'll have to be really delicate with that process. So I'm not really sure of the condition of the floors underneath this paint. I'm not really sure about the condition of the subfloor underneath the wood. And I don't know how much I need to build it back up with hardy backer board before tiling. That'll all be in the next video. Be sure to subscribe, notification bell to be notified of more videos. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Helps other people find this kind of content. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Good morning. This is what happened last night. I went and pulled everything back 4 feet so that I could put a sheet of plywood, and then the subfloor that I cut is in decent shape. It's not the greatest because of all the damage